waiting for our train. The boys talking with their billets. You see, they're all looking very well. We have had a great time here, be it very short. Now we're looking forward to playing in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Take us to Cornwall. Picking all our loads up and about to get aboard.
Don't eat too many hamburgers. Ice cream.
Whoops. Oh, got a bit of drift there. Can't see where you're going, yeah? Graham's showing us that we've arrived here, and as you see, we're here with all our luggage, and one of the trucks has arrived, I believe. I'm going to trip arse over Doodah. There's Pat Winston just going in to... You move out of the way, Graham. Graham? Graham?
Over there, let's break it. Gotcha. Want to take another? Yes, please. I wouldn't mind. Hold it, lads. Okay, guys. Okay. Right. While you're all together, I travelled down here from the station. Main organiser, and something that's very hard to organise the treatment. And that the post station has been overrun by generosity of parents, offers of help. This time you're going to find next, and a number of you will be on your own with families. Okay? A number of you will be on your own. There may be some of you will be in doubles. Okay? But when we come to that side, it won't be for some time yet to work out your billets. You won't be meeting your billets, I believe, until probably after the civil reception here with the Mayor. We'll then let you know. If there's any difficulties, see me and meet you. And I don't want...
Yeah, the lads are just waiting outside.
Very well done. So we'll go through there and show you the restaurant and some of the rooms, and we're going to
That's our host.
Well, then what
Douglas.
we're going to have the mayors coming down at about 6 o'clock. And the billets will be meeting us here from 6 o'clock. And as soon as they're all in, we'll... in fact, we'd like you maybe to respond with a few words to the mayor's address, okay? And then 7 minutes of speeches, guys, no more. Just 7 minutes of speeches. You can handle that, right?
Yeah, those you two have got to make one.
In French, Lee Mandry.
3.5 each. And then from there, we'll have the boys go with their billets, and the adults will be going to their place, okay? We've got yourself and Bob as a pair, okay, with one family, and Louis McAleer.
We're heading towards the building, please. We're going to go in groups of about 3 or 4.
Let's go split.
We are all heading off
to get out the camera, I'll show you.
towards the Civic Centre and to the reception. The Civic Steps, looking over the St Lawrence River. Our luggage kindly being unloaded. And that's the vans that we came in from the stations. To the Civic Centre here in Cornwall. Watching practice ice hockey playing. The boys are watching.
And 5 or 6 semi-organized.
Yeah.
Like they put a whole bunch on the ice and I'm going to go immediately to the president of the Cornwall Blazers Soccer Club and ask him to make the formal welcome. That's Ron Bergeron.
Well, I'd like to welcome everyone. I see you're nicely lined up. On behalf of the Cornwall Blazers, we are welcoming you to Cornwall, the 2 soccer teams from St. John Rigby School. I got that? From England. I understand they're pretty good soccer players. In fact, Via Rail, I think, was really impressed. Instead of running late today, they ran early. A little surprise to everyone, right? I'd like to thank all the warm-hearted people from Cornwall for building these 2 teams, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you during the next week. Thank you. Visitors, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the city of Cornwall and indeed all the residents of Cornwall, I'm very happy to be able to welcome you to our friendly community. I've had an opportunity to see the schedule that's been drawn up for you by the Cornwall Blazers Soccer Club, and I'm not quite sure how you're going to be able to pack all these activities into the next 7 days, but we recognize and assure you that all the buses and the cars will be running on time. We certainly have a very, very full schedule of activities here in the city of Cornwall. And in recognition of your visit to the city of Cornwall as a guest of the Cornwall Blazers Soccer Club, I'm very pleased to be able to proclaim August the 7th to August 14th as Soccer Week here in the city of Cornwall. I understand you have a number of meetings lined up with members of the Cornwall Blazers Soccer Club, and certainly looking forward to perhaps attending some of those meetings and bringing my son with me, who is playing soccer for his 2nd year. He's on a team this year called the Kittens. Last year the team was called the Bunnies, so I'm not quite sure what they call them next year, but his team won their first game the other night, so obviously the players were quite happy after 2 months of play, and the parents were even happier. Once again, I hope that you have a very enjoyable stay in our community, and I hope that you will come and see us again in the future. Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask one of the faculty of St. John Rigby to respond to the mayor's address, and I introduce to you Mr. Pat.
Of Cornwall pupils, staff, and parents of St. John Rigby School. We arrived in Toronto Airport 2 weeks ago. It was my first experience to come out of Europe, and I've got to say we've had 2 fantastic weeks. Everywhere has been different, and I thank you very much for the very warm welcome that you've given us in the short time we've been here in Cornwall. I'd like to say a very big thank you to Dougie here, who told me of the hard work that's been done by the committee in organising this week. It's tremendous to see so many parents here, and certainly in our short time in Canada, I think parents back home have got a lot to learn, because I've been very impressed in the 2 weeks I've been here to see parental involvement with the youth of today. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. And certainly when we go back to England and meet our own parents, meet the local press, I will certainly be full of praise for the parents of young people in Canada. It really has stood out. We are now in our 4th location, and it seems no different to here than it's been the 3 other places that we've been. Our lads are looking very forward to being with you this week, and I'm sure there's many activities lined up for us, and I'm sure that we will have a very good time here. I would like to make a small presentation to Brian Lynch, a memento actually of our school. It's not quite actually the school that we have our lessons in, but we'll tell you a bit about the site that we have. We actually opened 8 years ago as an 11 to 18 Catholic comprehensive school. And previously the site had been used as a teacher training college. Split into 3 parts, we have the middle bit. We've actually cheated because the old building was a castle. And apparently Henry VIII spent a few nights with Anne Boleyn there back in the 15th and 16th century. And the place is actually called Schiller College. We've had some teapot stands made, and I'd like to present one of them to Brian Lynch as a memento of St. John Rigby School.
James Ferrier. This is the presents that the boys have been given by the lady and host. I believe they've got books and badges and so forth. Is that all, boys? Thank you, Marco.
I'll give you another one.
Thank you. That's the mayor handing out the
The Hughes family. Alex Moore. James Norris.
Piper. Thanks and welcome.
Neil, friend. And Paul, deputy. The McSwain family. Lee. Porter. The Hoods.
Huey. Bob Fraser and myself and Graham Brown staying with it. Very interesting character. Associates, he works for the Ministry of Interior and Immigration. He has a lot of dealings with the Red Indians out there. Hold it up. And we hope to go up onto a reservation later on in the week. A place called Upper Canyon.
In fact, you could see the cricket style coming out.
Yeah.
And they were definitely not used to the gloves.
Yeah.
And many of them using, the boys enjoyed themselves, and they had a good time on the tennis. Many of them used the gym.
Yeah.
Played a bit of badminton, basketball, and I guess the climax must have been the wieners and buns and salads that we had, and the cookies went fastest of all, though. The desserts went the fastest.
Yes.
We had a terrific turnout, and your boys were so well behaved. It's just a pleasure to entertain them, and I thought we had a really good turnout of our billeting families. All in all, a real good thing.
Yes, I think we had a very good day, everybody concerned.
Good.
This is, by the way, Doug, our host, and he's sort of organised things for us in Cornwall, and we're looking forward to spending a good few more days. There's one lake come up there, that's right.
And race number 2 of John Sawana, so that's why he is forced to head to the fence prematurely.
We are, our hosts have laid us out a picnic. The boys are tucking in.
Not yet.
When you are finished with sandwiches, okay?
Then junk food. Not until.
Where's my purse? And if you touch the desserts before we tell you, we will cut your fingers off.
Yeah, sounds though one of the boys are getting reprimanded over there.
I thought it was just breakfast time a couple minutes ago.
I really didn't talk to you about
Being hungry. I didn't.
Well, not everybody around. I thought we'd have about 10 minutes to set up and...
Baseball.
Baseball. This is all we need.
Bob giving his story how he grazed his leg in baseball.
Marty Moose, Marty Moose. We can't see Marty Moose.
Hi, Paul.
Marty Moose, have you heard of Marty Moose? Weren't you watching that film last night?
I watched it. Yeah, I was trying to watch it. You keep making stupid comments and making rude noises.
Somebody keeps telling everyone what happened there.
Oh, that's what I did. Sit down
It's on Monday the 10th. The sun has come out nicely now. And there's the dam. Okay.
There's supposed to be an eel ladder up.
Overlooking the St. Lawrence River. You can see it's quite huge. 16 of them in all. Generate power. This is the upper dam. And the general information is given out. Kilowatts per hour. And this supplies the whole state of Ontario, and also controls the level of the lake, which is fed by the St. Lawrence River. And right over the bridge, visit an Indian museum. Monday afternoon, the 10th. We've just arrived at the North American Indian Travelling College, a museum. It's very warm now. It must be up in the early 30s centigrade, I would think. Sand stripping off, showing the Canadian girls his muscles. We're on the encampment. TP's there in the background. The skin hanging up to dry. Lunch. On the river.
Thanks a lot, lads.
Friday the 14th, and we are at the car park at Wilco, or Woolworths, and we've all met here with our respective billets on a journey in a convoy to about 15-minute journey to outside of town to pick up the coach, because the coach is not allowed to come into the city limits. There's Bob, back to us. We've done a lot of organising, especially the trip to Ottawa. All the Canadian families. Anthony saying his fond farewell. Huddle comparing notes.
Even some private stories. I think Cameron's Point is going to make the rounds. Two chuckles in the back there. We've had some good soccer games. I'm sure that we've experienced some local Cornwall and Cornwall Island and Upper Canada Village atmosphere. I trust also that the boys have learned something about girls soccer. Hopefully we'd like to see some of that in England. Because we'd like to take a turn going there, both boys and girls. So thank you very much, and Godspeed.
The people who helped to put this show together, you would not believe, I'm sure, how much work, how much dedication, how much effort went into staging this thing in a very, very short period of time. And I can't say enough about not only the committee people, most of whom are represented here, others of whom have to work for a living. and it is also a distinct pleasure for me to say to our parents of our boys how wonderful you have been in helping us by billeting these lads. And of course there are a couple of people who are not parents of our boys. We have one or two people like Mr. Walsh, who's just a little bit older now than he'd like to be to get this thing going, you know, which means having children. But those parents who are not part of our family, we thank all of you for having taken these boys into your home. Pat Winston and Bob Duckworth down through the three parents to the youngest boy. It's been our pleasure having you. It's been absolutely a treasure, a memory. It's been really and truly an experience for us that we have enjoyed having you with us. And I want you to know that we have had compliments, Pat, about your lads that is ceaseless. They have been gentlemen through and through. And I want to compliment you on that. A real nice bunch of guys. And I'm going to ask our people to give those lads a hand and Godspeed. Thank you.
The next thing I'd like to do is to present to the 5 gentlemen and the one that did not accompany them something from our city fathers as a memento. And I'll have Mr. Bob Kilger to do that.
Itinerary on
Commemorating our city, nice to hang up and remember us by. Mr. Bob Kilger has done a lot of work in the background, and of course you were with him all one complete day. So I would like the 5 gentlemen, Mr. Duckworth, Mr. Pat Winston, Mr. Richard Perrin, Mr. Bob Fraser, and Mr. Graham Brown, please come forward.
And Bobby, are you going to side, Bobby? Really, really close to Bob,
We've got Dick over here. You have presented us with 2 posters. This is, well, as you can see what it is, and on the main rivers, on the back, the history of Canada's main rivers. Okay, you can hang it up in your room. And our most recent national park, Puckasaw on Lake Superior, so when you look at the Canadian map in the future. And if anybody saw through Expo, you saw these fellows actually paddling down our St. Lawrence River, going off to Expo. And in Williamstown, for the natives, local natives, there's one of those boats in the Williamstown Museum for us to look at. They disembarked in Williamstown after going by the Cairn, and they left their canoe there and went west.
but they raced all the way down for Expo, so that boat is still there. So this is a memory for you to take home. We will transport the box and find some way of shipping it home so they're not all busted up. Okay? So Maureen did an awful lot of work.
Some of us don't have this.
Mr. Pat Winston.
Doug, you turn around the other way.
My better side, Dick.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. Depends where you're standing.
I must say, and of course this goes out to Bob and Graham and Richard as well, but again, I feel so good about having met people like Bob and Pat. I hope these fellows remember this all the rest of their lives, the kind of effort and work and companionship and guidance and help that all of these adults have, and the effort they put into this trip. And so for me to have met these fellows on this occasion, it's a real honor, and I'm very proud to have met these fellows. So I hope you two guys are not together reading this book at the same time, because now I'm see him again now. Do see him again. Eh? Okay, so there you go, lads.
We have just 2 more presentations, and then we'll be on our way, thanks to the good-naturedness of our billets and the transportation people. This one I would like to do is First People, our native peoples. All right?
Yeah.
You have visited the Longhouse down in this area. You'll be able to see how they mixed. Some of you had an opportunity to see lacrosse. You also see the long canoe that you have on your poster. This long canoe, originally built by the Indians, and there's a little story about it. So possibly in your library or in your cafeteria or someplace that you can talk to your friends about, you have been here. You have mixed with the natives of the First People of Canada. So on behalf of the whole team, and I mean that, and the people across the 7,000 Mohawks, and for the adults who saw them play lacrosse, I want to thank you for visiting our people.
John Rigby School party. It seems only a very short time that we were piped into that room in the Civic Centre by James Libby. But a lot has happened in that last week, and certainly a lot of firsts have happened. I remember saying last Friday that everywhere we've been in Canada, we had a superb time and everything was different. Well, Cornwall's been the same, but it's been different. And from my point of view, we experienced 3 new firsts. First of all, going to a lacrosse game. Secondly, going to a speedway competition. And finally, commentating for cable TV on a football match. I first of all would like to start my thank yous. He's not here today, but I'd like to express a very big thank you to Terry Hart. It's not easy arranging billets, but he did an absolutely superb job, not only with the youngsters, but also with the adults. And I know that the 5 of us that are here, we've had a superb time with our families, and we'd like to say a very big thank you to you all.
Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you to the people who organised the days. Jerry Hughes for Saturday. Hughie McAleer, well, he didn't organise one day, he seemed to be involved in every other day. So a big thank you to Hughie. Bob Kilger, how else, what other city could you go to and be there for 5 hours and see 6 major places? Absolutely superb. Maureen Hart for Wednesday, Upper Canada Village and the beach. Also, a number of ladies were involved with preparing the picnics. There was Captain Marvel and Tricia Watt. The football coaches, Peter and John, you're doing a superb job. Keep up the good work. I remember saying last Friday, the one thing that really appealed to me about our 2 weeks in Canada was the family atmosphere. And we've had it repeated yet over and over again during our week in Cornwall. Certainly, when we go back, we've got a lot to tell our folks at home. And it's tremendous at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night to see 200 or 300 people watching. Not only a lads match, but when I turn my back on Wednesday evening, there's a ladies match taking place. Lots of mums, dads there, brothers, sisters. That is superb, and keep up the good work. I'd like to say today that we're not really here on a one-way trip. We hope very much to welcome the people of Cornwall to England. At the moment, we don't really have soccer for young ladies, but in my role as a teacher governor, I'll be reporting back to our governors at the end of September what a marvellous time we've had in Canada and how much is done with the young ladies. We made a big thing in our family that we stay with here. They have 6 kids, and every night this week, at least one of them has been playing, and that includes 4 young ladies. So we'll have something to say about that when we go back. I'd also like to say you now know 5 people from London, and I'm sure lots of you go to Europe. And if any time you have an overnight stop in London, we'd like to open our doors to you. You've got our addresses. Gatwick Airport is 25 minutes drive from where most of us live. And we would love to see you, even if it's only for a night. So if you're coming on a personal holiday, you've now got a contact. Either see Ron Bergeron, Fury McAleer, Doug Lamborg, you know where we are. Last but not least, as we say back in Ireland, I hope that when you do come, we give you a real Cé Míle Fáilte, 100,000 welcomes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Everything? All right, all you heavy lip suckers, go at it.
Just mention where we're going, eh, Huey?
We are all going out to Monklin, to Papa.
Mr. Poppin.
Have a nice trip back.
Thank you.
Anthony, do it again. Do it again.
Roll them.
Here being your cameraman for the rest of this tour, the gracious Sifter Sam Dick Perrier.
I've been called to each other.
Here's all of our lily-livered lily whites that are now so nicely tanned, all a bit jaded, tired. It's 5 to 11 English time, 5 to 6 back in Canada, and this fella slept all the way through it. Didn't eat his dinner, didn't eat his breakfast. This fella's just spilled lemonade or something or other all over this fella. And it couldn't have happened to a nighter fun. We'd like to tell all you folks back home that they've all been an absolute credit to us. Who's the leading goal scorer? Who's the leading goal scorer? Where's Puck? Hello. He doesn't want to do that. Helen, could you sit down, please, with your back against the seat? Don't film like this on the BBC. Sorry for any delay. Well, the delay this morning has been because we've been waiting for this good fella here, Ernie, who's been parked up in the coach park, sweltering in the heat, because they wouldn't let him go because the marshal, the coach marshal, had not summoned him. And we didn't know we had to summon anybody. We're waiting there, waiting for the coach. No. Well, that's not the way to go to Canada. And anyway, that's caused a delay because
You can slip over a bit of that.
Thank you, boys. We'll just pass the pack around.
that's the best day we've had for ages.
Give him a toot. Give him a toot. I'll even get high. Oh, get in. Come in, Ellie. There's no room for us. We'll have to keep on driving. There's no room for us.
Well, this is the parents. Well done, the parents. Well, here's all the smiling faces.
Made it then?
Well, just for you. Just to upset you, we were late. Just, honey, let me... Very nice, thank you. He slept all the way over, didn't eat his dinner last night, and didn't eat his breakfast this morning.
No.
And he didn't even watch the film. How about that, eh?
We must be tired.
Can't resist the camera move.
Let's get these two. Let's get these two. They're looking a bit shy. Well, you've been to Canada too, have you? Eh? I hope that's not my bag he's throwing out.
Well, it's my anyway.
Right. Well, that seems to be the end of Canada 87.